Hi there, it's Ernest from TripAstute. In this video, we're covering a common question asked by international travelers, which is, what is the difference between a voltage adapter and converter? I remember the first time I went overseas, I wrestled with this question. To me, they seem to be the same thing. But when I looked online, the prices varied dramatically between adapters and converters. So today we're going to break it down. Let's talk about adapters. Adapters come in a variety of shapes and sizes, from all-in-one units to kits for different plug sizes. They're also fairly inexpensive. Basically, all that adapter does is that it allows you to plug your current device into another plug. For example, in North America, we're used to the 2 or 3 prong plug. But here's the adapter for the UK. It's quite different. From a technical standpoint, your device is receiving the actual voltage from the electrical plug. In general, that means a voltage anywhere from 100 to 200 volts at 50 or 60 Hz frequency. For example, in North America, our typical electric plugs run at 120 volts at 60 Hz. However, in the UK, the electrical plugs run at 230 volts at 50 Hz. A converter, on the other hand, converts the voltage and frequency from your destination's electrical plug to your normal power supply's voltage and frequency. They are more expensive than adapters and generally start around $30 to $40. They also tend to be larger and more clunky since the units are actually processing the electrical current. Now, why does this even matter? Well, if your device is rated to run at 120 volts and you connect it to 230 volts, you could overload and fry your device. Luckily, most electronic device chargers are rated to handle a range of power, so they should be able to adapt. You can generally see the range listed on your charger, so it's worth checking them out when packing for your trip. I personally haven't seen a phone, computer, or camera in the last 10 years that isn't able to accept various voltages from around the world. However, certain household devices are notorious for causing overloads and burnouts. These include hair dryers and hair curlers. These are typically electrical devices that function more as small appliances. These devices are more sensitive and have to be plugged into the rated power supply. I've heard horror stories of hair dryers and electrical plugs burning up because of this mismatch. So, for most travelers, you can probably get away without a converter when traveling. However, if you're heading to a special event or want or need to have a hair dryer with you, here are your options. Number 1, buy a converter. There are a ton out there, and I've included links to a few on Amazon. Most come with adapters as well, so you won't need to purchase those in addition to the converter. Number 2, buy a travel version of the device that accepts multiple voltages. For example, in the case of hair dryers, most of the manufacturers offer a travel version that can accept 2 or more voltages. Number 3, call your lodging in advance and arrange to borrow one. This can be a bit of a pain, but you can often use Skype or another online service to make a cheap international call. Also, we did a quick video on calling international numbers, so definitely check it out if you need help with dialing internationally. Keep in mind that it's not always customary for hostels and even some smaller hotels to have hair dryers in the room, so don't be surprised if they don't have one available to use. Number 4, buy one at your destination. This is definitely a last resort, but it's always an option if all else fails. This way you can always get a device that is rated for the local voltage and frequency. Have you ever had any issues with charging or using your electronic devices while traveling? If so, please share your story in the comment section. And if you have any questions, please let us know. I've included some helpful articles below with the voltage and frequency for every country. Also, I've added Amazon links to some adapters and converters that you can purchase if needed. As always, I do get a small percentage if you use my links. It doesn't cost you anything extra, but it helps us to build more content for this channel. Until next time, travel safe and travel smart.